What up, it's Guru Jojo. Today is February the 4th. Mind your business. Mind your business. Alright, so bringing spirituality into practicality. Right, I got my calendar, my 2020 calendar. I'm a little bit late. It's cool too because my mom made it. Basically, it's like you can do your own photos. Like that's my brother and his wife, and that's my niece Ava, my nephew Carter. And like we have like different pictures. There's my niece again, Ava. You know what I'm saying? Like it's pretty cool. Then here's my brother with the kids. Here's a picture. Let me show. Oh, here's my mom and my sister-in-law. And then I'm in here somewhere trying to find. Oh yeah, this was from the Levitate video too. And hold up. Hold up. Here's another picture of me and the kids. So yeah, it's pretty cool, you know. So anyways, this video in particular is about the difference. We're going to be comparing and contrasting spirituality with metaphysics. What's the difference? They're pretty similar subjects. However, the purpose behind them are different. So I'm going to start with spirituality. Spirituality in particular is about bringing the imagination into reality. It's straight up about creativity. It's about asserting direction, asserting your purpose. But it's really more so about being creative. So it's like coming up with ideas, and basically it's really about your own intentions. A lot of people forget this. Spirituality is actually really selfish. It's a selfish belief system. That's why a lot of times your spiritual people, they're either very successful, or they like are not doing well and they're like homeless or something like that. Like a lot of the people you find homeless, a lot of these are very spiritual people. Like you could talk to them, like you'll have a good conversation with these people because they're very spiritual. But the problem is that when you don't know how to kind of turn off your own spirituality and kind of learn to be fair and balance that out with other people's needs, and if you don't learn how to actually compromise with others, and compromising with others doesn't mean that you decided to have a conversation with someone or you decided to hang out with someone. Like compromisation is a very deep concept. It's a concept of being able to understand others and thus be able to be empathetic and connect with others based upon not just yourself, but another person. It's a lot deeper than the superficial behavior. Okay. So with that being said, spirituality, it's really a lot about imagination. So it's a lot about like the arts and creativity, like making a painting, making a drawing, making music, preaching. It's an energy that tries to sustain confidence, willpower, and motivation. So a lot of the activities that are spiritual is very like self-entitled and with the purpose of trying to sustain some sort of like energy. So that's why it can come off selfish, because a lot of times the energy of spirituality, all of their intentions seem to be for like an alternative purpose or something like that. Like it's like, you know, some people go to the supermarket to get groceries, but a lot of times like spiritual people are weird. They'll like go to the supermarket for a completely different reason than everybody else. And it becomes like weird because you're not on the same page as everyone else. And then that's the reason why people may not, they kind of get like annoyed with spiritual people sometimes, because it's like they always seem to be doing something for a different reason. And it's like, it can get annoying. Now, the thing is that, you know, metaphysics is more so about understanding what's behind people's spirituality. It's more about what's behind the creation, what's behind creativity. So it's the details that are related to what has came into creation. So this is why people have metadata, right? Metadata, that's the details behind the data, the information that's being presented to you. So this is like the author, the date, you know what I'm saying? If there's cover art, like who made the cover art? What was it inspired by? This would be the meta. It's the smaller pieces of information that's behind the data. Metaphysics is the smaller pieces of information, the details behind what physically came into existence. And so it's essentially what comes before. It's all about what comes before something is here in reality. What's before the structure. And it can also understand things on various aspects of time. So the past would be before, the present would be now, and then the future. So metaphysics can kind of like understand all of that, but it's more so what comes before. So a lot of times this is what's underneath something a lot of the time. So that's the reason why a lot of times metaphysical people or people that are into metaphysical type of things, like the tools used in metaphysics, like tarot and astrology, for some reason, right, people seem to think that's evil. Like they'll think people that are partaking in those type of activities are evil. The reason why, it's a subconscious response to the fact that the person is diving into details, and they say the devil's in the details. So this is the reason why people may feel like metaphysical type of people are being evil. It's really not what you think it is. It's really just because you're understanding what came before something. Okay, so if you're reading the Bible too, technically that's evil too. You talk about something that's before Christ. So you're talking about something that's before as well. Like, so that's the same thing. See, you see where people don't think? So it's the same thing, but for some reason, like reading tarot cards or something like that is supposed to be devilish, demonic, or evil. But the only difference is that, you know, metaphysics, it even gets deeper than the Bible because it understands why the Bible even is saying that. Like, what's the meaning behind that? So that's the reason why it can come off even more evil, because like, damn, like we was just going to agree what they said in the book, and now you want to understand why they said it, like, or if they said it wrong, like what's incorrect, what's another way of understanding it. You know, it's really, a lot of times it's just the stuff that other people don't want to understand. People like to try to criticize it or find an excuse for it being wrong just because like they can't learn it or they can't understand it. It's like a defense mechanism. But other than that, most of the time, spirituality and metaphysics are very much connected. You know, when you're understanding things on how to manifest, it's important to understand that you have to have the spirit in order to manifest, but then you have to kind of understand what's behind it. The difference is, I feel like with spirituality, people don't really care about what's behind it. Like, that's the difference between spiritual people and people that are more into metaphysics. It's like metaphysical people, they really want to understand like how something comes into existence. Like, this is me. I like to understand exactly why you're telling me to write this down and then go do this. Like, that's like magic stuff. Like, people say, oh, if you do this, you fold a dollar bill this way and then put it in your pocket, which never worked for me personally speaking. But that's probably because I need to understand why I'm doing something. See, that's metaphysics. Spiritual people, they don't give a shit about that. They just want you to tell them what to do so that they can have it. And that's all they care about. So it's more selfish. Like, it's more selfish. They don't care about whether or not they could be hurting someone. They don't care about whether or not this is going to destroy them in the future. They care about what they want, like right now, maybe in a couple weeks. And they don't really care so much about like the bigger outcome later on. So it's very self-centered and self-motivated, basically. One thing too about spirituality is that, and this is a little bit separate from the particular video here. This may upset some people, but I very much promise you that if you just understand this, it will motivate you to work harder to get the things that you want. So basically, a lot of spiritual people, they feel very self-entitled to stuff because a lot of the spiritual concepts kind of tell you that you deserve this. Like, it's very much a gassing kind of energy. Like it likes to gas you up to make you feel like you're the most important in this world, and like almost like no one else exists. It's all about your spirit. It's all about what you're asserting. It's all about what you're trying to achieve. And I'm gonna tell you this right now, you don't deserve shit. You don't. You should work hard for the things that you want, and that's how you manifest things. You don't manifest things because you think that you're someone special, or you don't have to put in the work. Like, I'll tell you this right now. A lot of people think that, you know, I'm like some magical being. And maybe I am, okay? I'm sure you are too. We're all probably magical beings. But I'm telling you this right now. I work hard for the things that I do. You may not see it, but I put in work. And a lot of other people, they don't really get that. They just think that things just pop up out of nowhere. You're missing the details. You're missing information. You don't know what anyone does to get to where they at. You just see a YouTube video. You just hear a song. You just hear something that someone has said, or you just see something that someone has. Understand how they got from point A to point B. That's metaphysics. Spiritual people, they can have a lot of trouble into understanding how to manifest because they just only pay attention to what they can see, and then they kind of try to figure out how that person got that, and they don't understand what someone has done behind the scenes. Like, they don't understand the deeper parts of things. And that's the problem, is like spiritual people could get too lost in the signs. They think signs being put out is for them. It's not always for you. Have several seats. Like, it's not always for you. Those signs aren't always for you. It's like, you got to know your boundaries. Spiritual people, they don't know their boundaries. They're constantly taking from other people. And this is reflecting in your karma. So again, metaphysics is a little bit better when it comes to, and I don't want to say like it's better, but if you want to really understand, I feel like, how to be successful in life, if you really want to understand how to achieve, and this is something that I'm still doing, I'm still learning. I speak about these things as I'm learning it, okay? But if you really want to understand these things, you have to understand the meaning and reasoning behind things. You have to understand the deeper components behind things, what's behind what you can see, what's behind the structure. And I'm not saying, you know, go and just destroy things so you can see what it's made up of. But I'm saying you should not just look for little spiritual signs and stuff. Like, you got to kind of know your place is what I'm trying to say. And stop feeling so self-entitled. You know, this society, we have a lot of benefits. It's great. You know what I'm saying? We can do a lot of things. Like, we can go to the store. We can utilize fake resource to obtain real things. What I mean by this is, like, we could just use a credit card and you could literally obtain like a real physical item for it. And this is a benefit, and this is a problem. The benefit is this can help you monitor responsibility if you actually like slowly start to pay these things back. Okay. I'm not saying I'm perfect and I like follow all the rules. Like, listen, there's times where I'm stuck too, but I'm just trying to explain how the society we live in today, it's kind of like messing up our concept of what we deserve. Like, our natural instinctual value system is jacked up, and it's like we need to go back and kind of try to understand things, the natural flow of give and take, of give and receive, of love. But now we kind of lost touch with that because we're deluded by a lot of these spiritual concepts that say, oh, you see a synchronicity, you're entitled to something. Like, no, you're not entitled to shit. Work hard for things. I'm not saying you have to get a 9-to-5 job, but you put in work and you receive things. Like, we're all deserving of something and we're not at all. It all just depends on the energy that you've put out into the world and the purity of your intentions. Today, a lot of spiritual people just do things for the wrong intentions. And this is, again, it's getting in the way of your karma. It's getting in the way of your karma. I'm not going to like lie to you. I'm telling you, I see it. I see all the darkness. I see all of that shit. I have no choice but to see it. Like, I'm like, damn, yo. That's basically what I speak about in this topic. Boom, I'm going to go over it again. So, spirituality versus metaphysics, very similar subjects, however, different. All right? Spirituality is more so about bringing the imagination into reality. It's asserting your own dreams, illusions, and imagination into the real world. A lot of times this is creative endeavors and whatnot. Okay, but it's really a very self-focused, self-motivated concept and belief system that often uses different signs and sigils and whatnot in order to feel a sense of confidence and self-righteousness towards benefits. Then you have metaphysics. Metaphysics likes to understand how things happen. It likes to understand the details behind things. It likes to understand the science of manifestation, the science of blessings, the science of despair, the science of creativity. These two concepts work hand in hand, spirituality and metaphysics. It could teach you how to manifest things. So boom. I don't know why I just dabbed myself up, but it is what it is. Blessings, light, and love to you. Peace out.